Hello, beautiful people. This is Catherine. I'm the head doctor and Christ lover in New Haven, Connecticut. I hope you're doing well this Sunday evening. You have peace in your heart. Today, I want to present myself a little bit to you. Some people know, of course, that I am French. I have a French accent, but do not know too much about my background. So, I want to open up a little bit and tell you where I come from. I've been in the States about 30 plus years. I was raised in Africa, Cameroon, and the South Pacific with my sister. My father was part of an administrator of those colonies when they were French. They are no longer under the French domination. And so I was never around white people. My sister and I all had friends, and everybody was black, and we had a wonderful childhood. And we came back to a whole French white nation for education. It was a major shock in my life, and so I adapted the best I could. I had kind of a rough teenage years, and I believe God shook me up, to my bone when I had a near-death accident around 19, where in a car crash I went to heaven and came back. It's called near-death experience. Since then, I know a lot of people have experienced that. I met Christ, which has changed my life. At that time, it took me a very long time to understand the meaning of the experience. I had an experience with the light, and today, in relationship to that, I want to speak about a scripture that has been in my heart forever about the light, which is Ephesians 5:9. One more thing, I'm married to John Wiley, and in New Haven, Connecticut. So what else? I make hats, and I repair hats for Delmonico hatters. So, going back to the light, there is a light of Christ, and then the angel of light. So the angel of light is the antithesis of the light, the real light, the light from heaven, the light of truth. Ephesians 5:9 says that we are to shine our light, and that we are to walk, and we are to be walking in truth, honesty, truth, and goodness. Okay, first is goodness, honesty, and truth. Okay, different versions have different slight interpretation of the same word, but basically that's what it means: goodness, righteousness, and truth. Sometimes it says justice. So goodness, honesty, and truth. I'm going to stick with this version. So that's the true light. That means that we are not deceived by things that might look like the light. I want to talk slightly about the other version of the light, and the pull toward the fake light that is attracting bugs, and also people that do not have yet their identity founded in Christ and do not mean to act like bugs, but somewhat are attracted to the light as flies. So there is power, there is a love of money, and there is a love of things that pertain to life, but that's up to interpretation. So the lust of the lust of the flesh. I'm trying to use very non-Christianese words because a lot of people are wanting to take a new step in this season, and the Christianese language sometimes is overbearing, and prevent them to understand exactly what we are talking about, what Christians really mean. So I want to use simple words. So my version here in Ephesians 5:9 is pretty simple. We are to be the light. And what does that mean? That means to walk in truth, and to be good, to walk in truth, and to be honest. To be okay. I keep mixing them up, but you have the idea. So the fake light, the angel of light, who is called Satan, and things that he makes, he illuminates, that he looks tempting, we are often captivated by in the media, in TV, in objectizing, I think that's a word, to making an object of the female body, overworking. I mean, you will find yourself in many area of, or sub area of those. Distraction. Basically, those are distractions that prevent the focus of being a true self and focusing on what's in you, what God has put in your heart to be, what you are truly called to be, because you are so disengaged, because all those blink, they all those little stars shine around that just distract you from being the real star that you're supposed to be. So you get distracted so much and you start to focus on what God has implemented in you, which is your true DNA and is just wanting to bloom, but because of those distractions, whether it's an overload of media, whether it's I'm not talking about not being aware, I'm talking about going a little bit deeper from the surface and finding your core, finding true meaning into your, this season where you have more time to reflect and being able to discern what is proving itself to be a distraction, what is proving itself to deter you from who you truly are, and what is because some people they already have a career, some people already have a strong course in life, but some people they don't, and the time we spend in distraction, that could be time spent to build what is in you that just want to grow, just want to become. I'm not tooting my own horn, but I have spent years and years in my craft. I am now the only millionaire in the state, and for many years there was no green light for me to exercise my skill, my talent, until I continue in spite of it all, and with the support of my husband and the faith in my heart. Delmonico needed to have someone to replace the former millionaire that had passed away. There was nobody qualified to do this kind of work. So you have to anchor into who it is that you are, and there's a lot of distraction out there, and you can spend time and time on the phone, on the media, on Facebook, Instagram, and that you need to be aware of something, and you have a passion and a cause, and it doesn't mean that you don't partake and you don't, but you have to be able to define yourself and the truth in the midst of it, and be honest with yourself, and not waste time to discredit and disadvantage your growth in the full term of what it should be, in the full term of what it's called to be, because you espouse other people's cause. There are things that are outside of our control, and are manipulated by higher power. Within that realm, you have the Illuminatis and the secret sects, SECT, SECT, just like we are very well aware of the skull and bone in New Haven, because we have the lodge right there on York Street. A president that have frequented that lodge. The Illuminatis, a group of people that are concerned by mostly themselves and increasing in power, economic wealth, so they can gain more control. We're going into the idea of a new world order and such things, and so the fake light is that idea that sometimes we're also controlled by other entities, and if we spend too much time in the wrong area, or over time or too much time in areas that are valid but still that can take from who we are called to cultivate within ourselves, then we are going to miss our true call. I hope that makes sense to you. I know it does to me, because my husband is black, all my friends are black. I'm very concerned. Being a French citizen, I'm appalled by all those events, but yet I do have to discern and also continue to persevere in my call. Right now I'm called to speak truth to people and elevate other people, so they can discern where they are, who they are, and they can do hopefully likewise. I want to say with the true light, the fake light, that we ought to discern what is truth, what is not. A lot of things are put out there to hide other things or to bring about chaos. And I was in France. We have the yellow jacket. When I arrived in the south of France, they had tire burnings in the street. There was no transportation from the airport to the city. We managed to get a cab with a bunch of people in it. The tires were burning. There was helicopters everywhere. The yellow jacket is a pop and mom movement fighting for justice against the government that is an unconscious capitalist, like in America. I mean, unconscious capitalism, and they were people that were true to themselves. They were mom and pop. They were fed up with paying taxes and serving the government that is overspending. Not serving the people like it should. And in the midst of that, you had a government that had incited looters. They were set up. They were anarchists set up, paid for to bring about trouble, to bring about chaos. They were different little groups that were in the midst of to make the yellow jacket look bad. So within each movement, there is always a part that need to be discerned, and so then the government say, oh yeah, the yellow jacket, they are looters, they are bad people, they are doing this, they're doing that, and they give them a bad reputation. So within the whole South, we are to discover and research and from history as well, to know a little bit more of our history, to see who is behind who in a government, and trying to gain control because they have been purchased, and who has maybe not been purchased so much, and who is pulling the string by doing more research. Illuminatis are still trying to bring about a movement that is not of God. And in Christian theology, about the Antichrist. But the way I see it, it's the me. So whether you have your me, engraven in your forehead, and or you're waiting to have a chip, the Antichrist is already there, and that's part of the fake light. If you follow me so far, the real light, the fake light, the real light is being in goodness, in truth, and in honesty, and finding yourself in those three things. Very simple. Being good, being honest, and being truth, and who you are in those three things. And that's the light. That's the fruit of the light, and walking in the light. And the other one is the angel of light, and the fake light. Illuminati is an example of that, and the distraction is another example of that. And find yourself where we ought to be. What I was trying to say within the fake light is that the Illuminatis have created this persona of the Antichrist, and it's not like I said, it's not a person yet. Maybe it's a smoke that become the fire, but it's real. It's already a spirit, and it's been there for years already. And it's the me movement, not Me Too movement, just me movement, where the ME is engraved on the forehead, and it's all about yourself, all about whoever getting ahead, and cutting you on the street, being rude, being over assertive, and bullying, and thinking about their. This is not Christ. Christ is like, you serve people, you put other people ahead of yourself. It's not that at all. So the Antichrist, being all for power, is already there. And be careful who you serve this day, because one will lead to the light, the fruit of the light, the fruit of the Spirit. The light is a representation of Christ. He is the light. And the other one is the angel of light. It's a fake light. So if we turn to serve only ourselves, then we serve the wrong light. Okay, in the midst of all the events, I know it's not targeting the events, but in the midst of all that, I just want to say that there can be a lot of overwhelming feeling, and I'm trying to get out of that by saying, okay, return to things that are simple, return to a simple you, a you that is anchored in a good self, in an honest self, in a true self. You will reap in due season. You will access riches that you will not. It will be a healthy for your heart. It will be healthy for your heart as far as having less anxiety, less maybe it's time for less excitement too sometime, because all of that can create panic. And I feel all that in my spirit. There's a lot of excitement, a lot of adrenaline, but it goes up and down. It's so going back to simple things. That's where the truth lies. We have gone way over the top. Today I wore only, I'm in textile, right? So I'm an instructor at Tinalia. I run a non-profit, also on top of being a millionaire, that serve mostly low and low income people that have manual skills in all area of the of New Haven and etc. And so I was wearing only natural clothing today. It did make a statement for me. My pants were linen, my shirt, and it was windy, so I had a sweater. It was cotton. With all the waste that we have created, the lack of recycling, the lack of preserving and drawing back, buying less, we are manipulated to an extreme. Each person buying 68 pieces of clothing per year that are worn about 3 times a year and then are being discarded, that are full of plastic. We're wearing plastic and then we wonder why we have rashes, and we have the main organ is the skin, and the perception on the skin of all those chemicals that are induced in the fibers of the textile do produce an effect. Fast fashion again is the second, I've said that on other channel, other discussion, the second most polluting industry in the world. And we need to step back by spending less. We can create economic development. We can create economic increase, and by repairing and by doing wonderful visible mending, we can enjoy yourself, we can heal, we can create wonderful things. And upcycling, recycling, all of that is part of the reflection of our time. Each person in each area of their medium, whether it's wherever they work, there is a step back that should happen right now, a reflection to think back in from the excess. In Europe we say, okay, America is the land of excess. It's too much. We have too much. We don't know what to look at anymore. We don't know what to use. We don't know what to wear. There's too much, and so it's time to shrink back and think something. Think about something. A modus operandi that is more simple and that will bring more focus, more peace, a more gentle nature, a more easier way to your heart, that will simplify your life and your lifestyle and your heart. And take it from an old guy like me. I've been around the corner for many years, many area of life. I was a pilot. I was the first woman coordinator in Africa, working with Doctors Without Boundaries. I've done a lot of different things, and I observe, I see, and my reflections are there to help others, to wake up others. So that's why it's called, the Heart Doctor and Christ Lover, is to be a beacon of light, to help people to see a little bit what's going on, and not to take everything in. A lot of things we have to, it's like the Word of God. It says that we have to separate and to be well studied, to be well learned, so we can take what is necessary, what is edifying, and then we can use that in our life. I hope that this is helpful to you. Until next time, practice simplicity, be well, and Ephesians 5:9, be the light, walk in loveliness, walk in goodness, walk in honesty, and walk in truth. It will bear much fruit, and you will feel better. God is true. God is the rewarder of those who believe and practice His word. So I wish you well. You will see that it's going to bear fruit. God bless you. Till next time.